Welcome, Virgo, to your chakra reading for May. Hope your friends are doing great out there. If your friends like this, please like and subscribe. Okay, first card coming out for you that's most important this month is the throat chakra, talking about that communication, talking about that creativity. Okay, so this card is expansion, expanding the creativity, expanding things that you want to have expand, right? How can I create powerful alliances or new people entering my life through that communication and that connections, that progress, counseling. Maybe you need some counseling, trying to find the perfect counselor, staying away from anyone who is too critical of your dreams, things that you want to have done. This indicates possible changing of your friends as well. Maybe you're finding good advice and pushing on to new territory. So take it how it resonates for you, my friends. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody since it's a general reading, but definitely having some wise counsel over here and really inspecting who are my friends or what kind of community would I like to have within a connection of friends. Grounding, really grounding yourself over here. And I love this. This is talking about, it's talking about that that earth chakra, grounding yourself to the earth, making sure that you know that you're ultimately grounding yourself for yourself, right? Because like I said, are these people too critical? I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm going for exactly what I need to have done for myself. So having the earth star chakra over here is really talking about doing things for yourself. You have been feeling a little scattered with your thoughts and feelings and finding it difficult to focus and concentrate. Maybe you're feeling stressed and busy due to many demands on you and are finding it difficult to create and manifest positive outcomes and experiences in your life. Why? Because your communication is not getting to where it needs to be. So it's like you're looking for the expansion of better, higher vibrational communication. Know that you're not alone. This is a very common feeling, and it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind and craziness that surrounds you. Okay, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So keeping yourself grounded to the earth for the things that you want is the best solution. Spiritual awakening. There you go. Now going straight from the ground, straight to the crown chakra. Why? Because the more you feel grounded, the more you feel connected to yourself and where that energy is coming from your own roots. It's now bringing on this spiritual awareness and awakening. It's going to be that aha moment. You know what? I do literally need this expansion. So even if you had an idea and you've communicated it before, now you're definitely going to be communicating this, listening for that advice, listening to maybe even the jibber jabber of people not being for your best interest, and knowing that you need to expand away from them. Right? Because now you're having this spiritual awareness of everything that's really going on. Your soul is opening up, saying, this is what's really going on. Now you have going straight from the crown chakra. Wow, you went straight from the ground, straight to the crown. Wow, straight to the soul star chakra, which is above you. Now you're anchoring yourself to the divine. Wow. And this is where the divine wisdom is really going to come through, because now you have the spiritual awakening enough to have the intuition and the unity within yourself to understand exactly what's going on from a different perspective. And this is going to bring in that divine wisdom. You're going to be able to hear, understand, visualize, have this awakening. It's going to say, this is what's best for you, and really taking that into account and really listening to yourself, and not just your being, but your soul, your higher self. The shock of the new when it comes to the grounding. Why is it the shock of the new? Because it's a little shocking anytime we have to expand, anytime we have to let go, do anything. It's a little bit shock to the system, right? Maybe it's friends that they get you in trouble all the time. You can't be around them anymore, but you don't really feel, there's something inside of you that's like, I've known them forever. I don't want to let them go. So you'll have this shock to the system. But you know what it is. You know what's best for you. If they're not bringing you anything, if they're not bringing anything great to the table, then it's time to let it go. If they're not bringing anything but heartache and all this, it's going to be shocking for you, especially when you get into this spiritual awakening, because it's going to, you're going to have this higher understanding of, you know what, I really do need to be away from them. But the mind is not going to like that. Right now, it's going to be heart over matter, mind over matter, heart over matter. And then counseling or anything that's going to tell you the truth about the communication is going to shock you, because they're going to tell you how it is. This reading could be shocking. If those of you who are new, who have never watched something like this, I could be shocking the system, right? Because I'm telling you how to do things, teaching you how to do other things. And it's a little shocking, right? Restore and replenish. So you're going to, with the spiritual awakening, though, it's going to restore and replenish the pieces of you that you felt like were lost. And that's also kind of a shock of the system too, right? But the shock of the system, remember, is also a part of that grounding you back to the earth, of where your roots really are. With the divine wisdom, it's after the storm. It's like you will get the divine wisdom once you let go of the basket that's holding you back. So once you start restoring and replenishing what has been lost, what have I done? Understanding, having that spiritual awakening and understanding of what is going on, truly understanding what's going on, and you release the basket, this divine wisdom is going to take over. And it's going to be a powerhouse, right? And once again, it'll probably put you in shock and new. I think the shock and new is interesting because I think it's going to go from the grounding to the spiritual awakening straight to the divine wisdom, because anytime you're doing something that's awakening, letting go and doing these things, it's a shock. Because it brings up all these emotions. It brings all these things of the human side, because your spiritual side is saying, yeah, well, this is not really, the game is what you're doing and you're playing it, but now you need to awaken and grow away from it and restore yourself and replenish yourself for the new understanding. Going over here with the grounding. Yeah, because right now you don't really see the Three of Wands. It's almost like you don't really have the understanding of what's really truly coming at you. You could be visualizing a lot of things, understanding a lot of expansions, but there's more to it. There's more success. There's more process. There's more coming at you than you realize. And that's because you're still holding on to those pains. Once you let go of those pains, you'll have the shock of the new, but it's going to make you crutch, right? You're going to want to grab a crutch, guys, because you're going to get determined, but it's going to shock your system and you're going to say, oh my gosh, right? So you might be crutching it around. But it's going to all of a sudden open these doors to this passion and this understanding, which is then going to wake you up, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I see the challenges before me. And you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. I want the expansion. I want this. Even if it's that counselor telling you it's this way. And after that shock of like, oh my gosh. And look, Virgo, you guys are great counselors yourself, right? But because you're that earth sign, I'm going to just say, I'm a Taurus. We don't really like people all the time telling us what to do. So if they tell us something that we don't really want to believe, or something that is really going to hurt, it's going to shock the system. And you might even go, you know what I mean? You're going to go into that defensive mode. And that's what it's talking about over here with the Seven of Wands. You're going to let go of that defensive mode. Why? Because your spiritual awakening is going to wake up and you're going to say, you know what? They're absolutely right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because your logical mind is going to come in and you're going to say, you know what? I get it. I totally get it. Because you're going to let it go. And then you're going to start restoring and replenishing as you start logically thinking about what's going on. And you're realizing you need to unite. You're going to have this feeling of intuition and unity within yourself of your spiritual awakening. This is you and your higher self coming back together with the Two of Cups. Uniting, restoring, no longer fighting with yourself, with others, or the process, fighting with the counselor, telling her, you're wrong. because now you have the spiritual awakening saying, you know what, you're right. Hey, look, your spiritual counselor might be an Aquarius, and you're going, you know what, you're absolutely right. It could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This is an Aquarius though, but you might be even saying, you know what, they're absolutely right. I'm not going to fight you anymore. You're right. Because you have the greater understanding now, because you've had time to think about it, right? So with the divine wisdom, you're no longer holding back. You're saying, you know what, I have all these anxieties. When I get into my divine wisdom, I'm going to pop this bubble. I'm going to fall out of this bubble. I'm not going to allow myself to sit there with the new world. Wow, because you're going to make this huge change, and there's this huge change coming, and it feels like everything that was worrisome, everything that's trying to get you to where you want to be, all the communication, all the worry, all of what's this, what's that, how can I do that, is all going to dissipate because of the higher wisdom. The higher wisdom is saying you are divinely guided. You have the knowledge within yourself. Open up and listen. Don't hang on to these baskets, right? After the storm, you will start moving into the right direction with the Six of Swords. You are getting in your boat, of your soul boat, we'll call it, and you're moving in your mind. Yeah, Page of Swords. You're saying, wow, that's crazy. But it's not. Because I have the Page of Swords upside down. So for those of you who are doing counseling, or a great friend is coming in teaching you these things, you're saying, I've learned what I want, right? I've learned what I want. But then it's this wow moment, because it's like, some of you are not letting go of all the baskets. Right? You're still struggling with some baskets. Certain ones you just cannot let go of. Some of them you just can't learn from, right? So it's kind of a wow moment, like, wow, you would think, right? But it's okay, because that just means you need to go through a process again on that certain piece. But with the Page of Swords upside down, it's okay though, because you're still getting the Ace of Coins. So, there's going to be some holding back over here. And for some of you might even be releasing a Gemini, saying, you know what, I've learned that everything that you're telling me, I don't want to listen to. I've expanded from you. And maybe that's what it is. You're moving away from a Gemini or a Libra, saying, you know what, you're not working with me. You're not for me, and I'm going to let you go. And for a lot of you, I think that's really what it is. And then for others of you, it's like, I can't let go of this piece. I don't know how. So then you have to come back and do another, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, that's okay. That's okay, right? That's okay, because, we have a lot of things that are going on, and some things need other things. But the wow moment to me is just really, it was really that you couldn't learn. You couldn't learn from the Page of Swords. This Gemini is like, they can't teach you how to let go of the storm, of this one piece. Is it this person here? Can they only get you so high? And then you're like, but you're not helping me with this. You help me over here, but you can't help me here. But it's okay, because you still have an Ace of Coins, because you're still learning the expansion no matter what. You've still opened the chakras to get to where you need to be. You've still taken the leap of faith where you need to be. You just have to work on that one basket. And it does feel like, to me, you guys, if you are in counseling, maybe they don't know how to help you on this one piece. Maybe it's beyond them. Especially if you're in counseling and you're talking about spiritual enlightenment and stuff, they might not be able to help you with that. A lot of them don't believe in that. I just want you to know that they don't. And maybe that's where the wow is like, wow, I wanted to get even more out of this, and I'm opening up all of this, but then when I go to tell you something about that, it's like, you can't help me with that? No, sorry, honey, they can't, because you know what? Most of those people are on science. They're of the mind. They're not of the soul. But this actually helps your soul, though, because you are a soul person, right? So I'm really seeing that. So you're going to have to prepare yourself to try to get rid of that yourself and try to make your own success for that piece. It's kind of crappy. And then, like I said, for others of you who don't have a counselor and are not doing that, it's just you're saying, you know what, you're not helping me, you're not teaching me anything, I'm letting you go. And you're walking away for success. Take it how it resonates. But I think for some of you, it's going to be a big disappointment for those of you who are going to counseling and you realize, but I'm opening my soul. And they're going, yeah, okay. Well, I can't help you with that. I don't know what you're talking about. So your law of attraction card is I use the law of creation deliberately, okay? Which I love here because you have this tree and here you have the tree. You guys can see that, but I love that. So your law of attraction card is literally this grounding tree. Tree of creation, law of creation. This card says the law of creation has two important parts, the desire for the creation and allowing of the creation. Whether you're thinking of what you desire or the lack of what you desire, the direction of your thought is your choice. The law of creation goes to work upon whatever you are thinking about. So, so even if they can't help you over here in counseling, that's why I love this card. Just prepare yourself. You know what to do. You have it already within you. You're already within the divine wisdom. You can do this yourself. Don't discredit yourself. You can get towards that and start progressing towards that the same way you did over here, right? Even though it feels like this one's a little heavier and it's something that's really a heavy basket, you can still go back through over your training of grounding yourself, getting into that meditation, listening to yourself, right? Then that shock will come again, and then you can continue that process, right? Because whatever you work on and whatever you're thinking about, you can create that to happen. You can get rid of that basket yourself. You can say, you know what, you didn't help me with this over here. So it's okay. I'm going to logically think and get myself through it because I'm strong. I learned how to become strong. Okay. And that was it for you, my friends. Until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.